Today we're going to be looking at compiling, running, and writing some basic code in Prolog. So to get started, we're going to download a very minimal Prolog compiler. So to do so, just go to swi-prolog.org. It'll bring you to this page. Their site's been down for the last couple days, so it's a little glitchy. But down here you'll see download SWI Prolog, and it's a pretty self-explanatory installation. So once you get the compiler installed, I'm going to go ahead and open it. So it's a little icon with the owl, and as you see, it's just a very basic command-like type structure layout. I've gone ahead and I wrote a basic Prolog program, and we'll go ahead and take a look at the syntax and how it's set up here. So it's a scheduling program to show the school class schedule with a class definition to print out certain data under different parameters. So if you look here, we have a fact, so this is called a fact, called schedule. We have a day, and we have a class. So schedule, on Mondays we have programming, Tuesdays we have math, Tuesdays we have English, Wednesdays programming, etc., etc., and then Friday we have nothing. I then created an additional fact called difficulty. So difficulty of the class programming is hard. Difficulty of the class math is hard. English, easy, etc. So first thing, in terms of syntax, you notice that facts, they're all going to be lowercase. So the parameters are lowercase, the fact name is lowercase, and it always ends with a period. So that's how the definition is defined for each fact for whatever definition you're creating. So here at the end, we're creating an actual definition here. So it's called class information, and it's going to take in a day, it's going to take in a class, and it's going to take in a difficulty. And this is how we're going to continue the rest of the code here. So within the body of this definition, we have a schedule, so it's going to take this fact here above, so we have schedule, and in terms of the parameter, we're passing through the day here, and then the class name. So in schedule, there's day and class, followed by difficulty of the class name, which you can see here, difficulty is the class name, and then comma, the second parameter of difficulty is the level of difficulty. So this may be confusing to understand at first, but if we go ahead and open the file in SWI Prolog, I'm going to go ahead and open with SWI Prolog, and it will be open here. Now we need to compile the code. So to compile the code, you need to know the directory of the file. And if you don't know how to find that, I'll walk through for Mac. If you just go CD to your desktop is where this file is. And I'll go ahead and list the files, and we see my Prolog files right here. If I type in pwd, it'll list the directory. So this is the directory name. And to compile, you go open left bracket, single quote, paste the directory name, slash, and then the name of the file is schedule.pl for Prolog, and then you close that and hit enter, and then you need to hit a period, and that'll compile the code. So you see here I have no syntax errors, no errors whatsoever, so everything compiled without any problems. So this is how we're going to start testing the code and returning data based on the data that's within our programming file. So if I go ahead and I type in schedule Monday programming, the output should return true. And remember, everything ends with a period, so we have true. If I type in schedule Monday English, it should return false because I haven't defined a fact that has English on Monday. False. Okay, so now if I do difficulty, say programming easy, that would be false because I have programming defined as hard. But if I copy this and I go programming 1, 2, 3 hard, it's true. So now let's jump into the class information file, because this actually uses data from these combined facts and returns some value. So let's say that I want to print out all the classes that I have on Tuesday. Well, I know on Tuesday I have math and English. So if I go class information, and let's say I want all the class days on Tuesday, then I'm going to leave class as class, the default file, so this sets it to a variable, and then the difficulty is just going to be left as diff, which is also default, so it's going to assign diff to all the difficulty level variables, and then I'm going to end it and hit enter. So it says on Tuesday I have a class equal to math, and the difficulty of math is hard. To continue the search process through the facts files, I'm going to hit the semicolon, and it'll continue through all the data that matches with the parameters of the fact. So on Tuesday you see that I have math and English. If I look here, I have class math. The difficulty of math is hard, and I have class English, and the difficulty of English is easy. And then it ends, because that's all that I have. Now say I want to print out all the classes in this entire file that are, say, hard, which would be programming, math, and circuits. Then I would go class information, and then I would leave day as default variable. I would say class is default, but then the difficulty would fall under the defined parameter of hard, and then I would hit enter. So on Monday I have programming, and programming is hard, so then I'm going to continue with the semicolon. And on Tuesday I have math, and Tuesday math is hard. Then I continue. Wednesday I have programming again, as you can see, because I have it twice in a single week. And then Thursday I have circuits, and then that should end the hard classes. And then you see it ends. So everything can be printed out based on what you pass into the parameter. So we'll do a final example. So if I go class information, and let's just say any day, set that to a variable called day. We'll do, let's just say English, and then difficulty, let's set the difficulty to hard. So just for an example, we have English, but there is not a single English class defined in the facts schedule or difficulty that matches with hard, so this should return false, which it does. However, if I take class information, any day, set that to a variable, English, and set this to easy, which is defined in the file, then it will return that I have this class, English, that is easy on Tuesdays. Alright guys, I hope that helped you out with some basic Prolog syntax and writing and compiling some code. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment.